Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto falls in love with Mashiro, Nel and Unohana, part 1. Subscribe if you enjoy the video. Let's start the story. It was a beautiful day in, as a 13-year-old boy about 5'0" with spiky blonde hair and blue eyes walked to the office. He was wearing a pair of white loose baggy pant with black trim and a sash that held his Zanpakuto Keke Genkai at his side, while he also had a matching jacket with black trim that he left it open to show off his abs, since he didn't wear a shirt. It was the same as Grimjo's outfit. You couldn't see his face due to a white mask that had the shape and look of a fox. He lived a nice life, but deep down he hated the village and wanted to get out, but it was not like that was going to happen anytime soon. He always had the clans backing him because of who his parents were, but the civilians hated him because of the Kyuubi. It didn't help much with a mask that can appear at any time you are mad at someone. He's only had the mask for 3 years. He was nowhere at keeping it in control for no more than 6 hours without his tenant taking control. It was around that same time he met his Zanpakuto spirit. She was nice, a little flirty, but nice. She didn't have an actual name beside the Zanpakuto name Keke Genkai. He started to call her Naru, since she looked like a female version of him. So Naruto, what do you think the old man wants? A feminine voice said in his head. Don't know Naru-chan, but it sounded important. Naruto said to his Zanpakuto spirit. The word to the wise kid, you better drop the mask soon, it's almost been 6 hours. Another feminine voice said. Alright Kyuubi-chan, I'll drop it when I get into the old man's office. The bitch at the front hates me. Naruto said to Kyuubi. Alright, but just be careful. She nodded to her host and smiled at Tsukahime. Okay. Naruto said as he walked up to the tower and passed a bitch at the desk glaring at her while releasing so much killer intent the woman fainted. Bitch. He muttered as he walked to the door of the old man's office and opened it and noticed 3 people he had never seen before. One was a well-rounded man about 8'5" with golden eyes and pink hair, wear what looked like to be an olive green suit. The standing next to was a man wear a green tracksuit. He was about 6'11". He couldn't tell what color his eye were due to a pair of sunglasses and hair looked almost like a shuriken. The last man looked a little crazy. His was about 5'11" with brown eyes, light gray silver hair. The 2 shorter men to be about 30, while the tall man looked maybe 34. You wanted to see your old man. Naruto said, making the 3 unknown men look at him shocked. That's a hollow mask, but how? The 3 men thought at the same time, looking at fox-like hollow masks on the boy's face. Yes, I did, Naruto. I can see you have more control of the mask. The old man said, looking at Naruto. Not really, just level 1, I can barely control level 2. Naruto said as his mask started to crack and fall off his face, showing he had 6 whisker marks on his face, 3 on each cheek. I see, but the main reason I called you here, you see, due to the village's constant death threats on your life, you will have to leave the village, but luckily there are people who will take you in. The old man said, seeing a smirk on Naruto's face, showing that he was happy to be leaving the village. I see that the council is banishing me. Naruto said, seeing the old man nod his head. Fine, then I want everything that belongs to my parents, everything in the house and bank accounts. I want to leave nothing to those assholes. Naruto said as the old man spoke up. Already done, Naruto, these men over here have everything that belongs to your parents, even the house. The old man said, getting an even bigger smirk out of Naruto. But when do I have to leave? Naruto asked, looking at the old man. The council wants you to leave within the week, but knows you. The old man said as Naruto cut in. I leave within the hour and disappear from this village, never to be seen again. Naruto said as the man with pink hair spoke up. Very well then, young man, if you are ready we can leave and head for our home in Karakura town. You will be more welcome in our family. The man looked over at the boy and smiled. Well, I guess this is good for the old man. Naruto said as he looked over at the 3 and nodded his head as though he was telling them he was ready. Well then, let's go, we have a long way to go. The man with the afro said, walking to the door. Aye, old man. Naruto said as he walked out of the office for the last time in his life, never to see the man again. Everything then started to fade to black. Dream fade. That dream again, what is going on? A 16-year-old Naruto asked as he woke up and tried to move on to feel weight on his chest. Upon looking down, he noticed a green-haired girl sleeping with her head on his bare chest with a smile on her face. This is none other than Mashiro Kuna. To the normal eye, she may look like a normal 5-foot girl with green hair and hazel eyes, but to other who knew her, she was ex-lieutenant of 9th Squad and a wizard who just so happens to like wearing a white bodysuit with orange gloves, boots and scarf with a set of goggles on top of her head. Mashiro got up. Naruto said, shaking the girl, made her open her eyes and looked up at Naruto for a little bit before kissing him and then using it to disappear. Damn pervert. Naruto mumbled, getting out of bed. Over the years Naruto's been here, he's grown only 5 inches, but still kept what he wore 100 years ago. What's wrong with Naruto? A voice asked coming up from behind, making him jump only to see that it was Kensei Muguruma, another visored, and one that Naruto looked up to like an older brother, one of the one that brought Naruto here in the first place over 100 years ago. He had light gray silver hair with brown eyes and was about 5'11". He was wear a dark purple A shirt with white trim, in addition to green cargo pant, black combat boots, and a pair of orange fingerless gloves, and a series of piercings, one on his left eyebrow and 3 on his left ear. God damn it, Kensei, don't do that, you asshole. Naruto shouted while he glared at the man. Sorry Naruto, but anyway, what's wrong? I heard you mumbling something as I walked by your room. Kensei said, looking at the young man. It's Mashiro. Naruto said, making Kensei raise an eyebrow at him. What will she do this time? Kensei asked, looking at him, hoping that she didn't cause trouble like she usually does. Let's see, she was in my room, sleeping on my bed, laying on me. Naruto said, as Mashiro came back into the room wearing a white skirt and matching shirt that hugged her, showing off her C-cup chest. Get out of my room, you green-haired pervert. Naruto shouted. What, you didn't like that kiss? Mashiro asked as she came over to Naruto, swinging her hips, making Naruto's eyes follow her hips as they swung left and right. Kensei does something about her man. Naruto said, shaking himself free from the perverted thoughts of looking at Kensei, only to see that he was gone. You asshole, don't you dare leave me up here with this pervert. Naruto shouted as Mashiro came closer to him. What's wrong, Naruto-kun, don't you like me? Mashiro asked a little sadly. Mashiro-chan, of course I like you. Naruto said as she got closer to him. Then why does it seem like you want to push me away? I really like you, Naruto, but why won't you let me get close to you? Mashiro asked, looking Naruto in the eye. Because Mashiro, it's not that I don't want you close, it's just the way you do it. You come into my room every night while I sleep and curl up next to me. It's a little weird for Mashiro since we aren't even dating. Naruto said to make Mashiro stop and walk over to the bed and sat down. Naruto, that's the thing, I want to be yours and only yours, but I don't know how to approach you about it. Mashiro said, looking up at him with a smile. Every time I approached you about it I would chicken out. That's why I started doing stuff like this. I thought maybe it would tell you how I feel about you. Mashiro said to him as she got up and walked to the door only for Naruto to stop her. Hey Mashiro. Naruto said, making her look at him. Yes, Naruto. Mashiro asked, looking over at him. Would you like to go out for breakfast? Naruto asked Mashiro to do a double take at what he said. WHWH what? Mashiro stuttered. I said, would you like to go out for breakfast? Naruto made Mashiro go wide-eyed at what he said. Sure Naruto, I'll meet you downstairs. Mashiro said, walking out of Naruto's room with wide eyes. Downstairs? Hey, what the hell's with all the yelling up there? A girl yelled. She was about 4'4" with blonde hair done up in spiky pigtails and brown eyes. She was wearing a white shirt with a red jogging suit that had white stripes on it with the first kanji of her name on it and flip-flops. Shut up Hiyori. Kensei said, coming down the stairs. How about? Hiyori tried to yell only for a man with a shuriken afro look to hit her on the head. This man was Lovakawa. He was about 6'3" with black hair, wearing sunglasses, so no one knew what color his eyes were. He was wearing a green jogging suit. Quit yelling at you idiot. Love said, removing his fist from the top of Hiyori's head. Damn it, Love, stop hitting me. Hiyori yelled, rubbing her head. Then stop being annoying. Love said, sitting down with a plate of waffles and bacon. Would you two stop? A feminine voice said, walking into the room, 3 others following her. This girl was Lisa Yadamaru, another visored with long black hair and turquoise eyes, red oval glasses. She was about 5'4", wearing a sailor. The next was Rajuro Itorabashi, or, as everyone called, Rose. He had purple eyes, long, wavy blonde hair, and was about 6'2". He was wearing a black suit with a thigh-length black jacket. He also was wearing a white frilled shirt with frilled cuffs and a high collar, which was untucked. The man next to him, 7th visored in the house, was Shinji Hirako, a man with chin-length blonde hair, brown eyes, and was about 5'9". He was wearing a Karakura school uniform with a long gray coat and newsboy cap. The last was a well-rounded man about 8'5" with golden eyes and pink hair, wearing what looked to be an olive green suit. This was Hachijin Ashoda. So where are Naruto and Mashiro? Shinji asked, looking around the kitchen. You looking for me? Naruto said, appearing right behind Shin H with his mask on. It was different than the mask in the dream. This one covered him from head to toe, except for one leg. His hands looked like a fox's paw, and the face, instead of just a fox-shaped mask, his whole head was covered to make it look like he had a fox's head. What the hell, Naruto? Shinji yelled as he grabbed his chest for the heart attack he almost had. You should have seen your face, Shinji. I thought you were going to piss your pants. Naruto said, laughing as his mask started to break into pieces. Good one, Naruto. Hiyori said, rolling on the floor laughing at what Naruto did to Shinji. You still can't control level 7 of your mask. Kensei said, looking at Naruto's breaking mask. No, not yet. Naruto said as the last of his mask broke apart. Besides, level 7 is much harder than levels 1 to 6 Kensei. Unlike you guys, my inner hollow is a demon. Naruto said. True, but I'm surprised that you can have that much control over it at that age. Hachijin said, looking at Naruto. True, but remember I've had my inner hollow since I was born. Naruto said as Mashiro came down the stairs. Naruto? Mashiro said shockingly since she just left him in his room. Oh Mashiro, yeah, you ready? Naruto said looking at the green-haired girl. Yeah. She said, snapping out of her daze. Hey, where the hell are you two going? Hiyori yelled. I'm taking Mashiro out for breakfast, so bye. Naruto placed a hand on Mashiro's shoulder and disappeared via body flicker. But Naruto and Mashiro. So Naruto, where are we going? Mashiro asked as the cloud of smoke appeared around when Naruto used his body flicker to take them somewhere in Karakura town and finally faded. Don't know where you would like to go, Mashiro-chan. Naruto said as Mashiro had a tomato red blush on her face. I don't know what Naruto-kun is about the Karakura Buffet. Mashiro says as she points to a building that says Karakura Buffet with a huge smile on her face. Alright then. Naruto says as he starts to walk to the restaurant. An unknown place in Karakura town. While Naruto and Mashiro were heading to Karakura Buffet, two Shinigamis came to Karakura town through a Sinkamen. The first was a girl with blonde pigtails and blue eyes wearing a Shinigami uniform that was open just enough to show of her cleavage, which was a perfect round D cup with her Zanpakuto on her waist. She looked about 15 years old with a height of 5'6". This was Naruko Uzumaki Namikaze, the spirit princess and third seed of squad 3. The second was another girl with short black hair and purple eyes. She was wearing the same outfit as Naruko with her Zanpakuto on her right side. She looked about 15 years old with a height of 4'9". This was Rukia Kichiki of Squad 13. Princess Naruko, you didn't have to come with me. The black-haired woman said. True, I didn't have to go to Rukia. But I also wanted something to call me here and I thought I told you not to call me princess. Naruko said to the girl next to her. But it's improper for me to call you anything else. Rukia says looking up at her. True, but I'm not the heir to Rukia. Once my older brother is found, he will be the one to take the throne. Naruko said, looking at the lieutenant of Squad 13. But I mean Naruko, everyone has been looking for him for years now and no one has been able to find him. Rukia said as both of them jumped up to one of the buildings. I know that, but I can feel it in my heart, he is out there somewhere. Naruko said looking over Karakura town, not knowing that today would be the day she would finally meet her brother. But Naruto and Mashiro. Thank you for breakfast, Naruto-kun. Mashiro said as she kissed him on the cheek. Don't worry about Mashiro-chan. Naruto said with a blush on his face, turning away from Mashiro only for his eyes to catch the sight of what looked to be Shinigamis. Fuck, how could they have found out that the so-called traitors are here, but if so, how I'm the only one that uses soul form? Naruto thought to himself before he looked at Mashiro, who only looked at him confused. Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Mashiro asked, looking at him. Mashiro is heading home now. Naruto said as his eyes flashed to their hollow state. Naruto-kun, what's going on? Mashiro asked, feeling a little scared. Reapers go. Naruto said, making Mashiro go wide-eyed, that Soul Reapers would come to Karakura now. Right, just be careful please, I can't lose you, Naruto-kun. Mashiro said, looking at Naruto. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Naruto said before Mashiro started to run home while he ran the other and then down an alley when he was sure no one could see him. He took a pill out of his mouth and in a puff of smoke, his appearance was changed. While early he had on a black jeans and a blue shirt, he now wore a pair of white loose baggy pants with black trim and a sash that held his Zanpakuto Kekkei Genkai at his side, while he also had a matching jacket with black trim that he left it open to show off his abs since he didn't wear a shirt, and unlike hair was different, it was shoulder length with red streaks. Man, I love those Gigai pills, so much easier than carrying around a fake body. Naruto told him the location of the Shinigamis. But Naruko and Rukia. Hey Rukia, you feel that? Naruko asked looking over at Rukia, who nodded her head yes. I do, but who could give out so much? It's more powerful than the king and queen combined. Rukia said as Naruko nodded, knowing just how powerful her parents are since she went up against her mother once and wound up in the hospital for a week. Heido, number 4 by Akurai. A voice said, making them look behind them just in time to dodge the spell. Not bad, Shinigamis, tell me what your names are so I have something to write on your tombstones. The figure said, showing itself to the girls. Do you have any clue who you just attacked? Naruko shouted, pulling out her Zanpakuto. No, which is why I asked you your name. The man said, looking at the girls. Shouldn't you give your name first? Rukia asked, looking at the blonde and red-haired man. Fine, the name's Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto said, only for him to be tackled by the blonde girl. Brother, I finally found you. Naruko said as she cried into his chest. What do you mean, brother? Naruto asked the girl to sit up and look at him with a smile. My name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and I'm your little sister. Naruto said, looking at a wide-eyed Naruto with a smile. But how I've been an only kid since I was born. Naruto said, looking at the girl. True, but you see I was born in Sarate about a year after you were born in the living world. We were supposed to meet when I turned 13, but when mom and dad went to get you. You had already activated your powers, you were gone nowhere to be found. Years later the leaf was destroyed, and all your friends with it. When they came to Sarate they had one thing in mind. Finding you, big brother. Naruto said with tears coming out of her eyes as she pulled out a medallion that was cut in half that said Maki and K's on it, making Naruto's eyes go wide at seeing it. I see you noticed that mine only has Maki and K's on it. That's because mom and dad gave you the one that says Yuzu and Nami on it. Naruto said as a necklace around Naruto's neck started to glow while Naruto did the same. They're coming together. Both Naruto and Naruto said at the same time as both pieces came together, showing what it looked like as a full medallion. You see, Naruto, the medallion shows the truth. I am your sister. Naruto said as she got up off of Naruto and put her hand out for him to grab. I always wanted to know why the medallion was like that. Naruto said as he grabbed his little sister's hand so he could get up. Okay, can you two stop please, I do have a mission. Rukia said, tapping her foot. What would that Miss Shinigami? Naruto asked, looking at the girl. The name's Rukia Kichiki, not Shinigami. Rukia said, glaring at Naruto. Very well then Miss Kichiki, what is the mission that you have in my little town? Naruto asked, looking at her. It is to guard it from hollows for the next month. Rukia said, getting a laugh from Naruto. That has got to be the lamest mission I have ever heard about, and believe me Miss Kichiki, this mission by my accounts is a fucking D rank that only worthy of an academy student. Naruto said as he looked over Karakura town. 100 years I have been looking over this town and nothing but weak hollows. Naruto said, sitting on the ledge of the building. But that's just my thought about it. It's your mission to do what you need. Just be careful, there is one person here who will see you. Her name is Ichigo Kurosaki, a nice girl who helps lost souls try and find peace. Naruto said, looking over at the high school. And how do you know she can see them? Rukia asked. Because I told her that I could do it even though I'm Shinigami. I still need friends. Naruto said as he looked back at his sister and Rukia. Now I should be getting home. The others are probably wondering what is taking so long. He said, getting up and walking away before turning back. Would you like to come to Naruto after all? I do believe that this mission is only for Miss Kichiki. Naruto asked, holding his hand out. He's right, princess, go with him. I can do this myself. Rukia said as she disappeared in a. Well, I guess I don't have a choice now, do I? Naruto said, grabbing her brother's hand. Well then, let's go then. Naruto said before they disappeared. Unohana candy shop. Naruto, why are we at a candy shop? Naruto asked, looking at the shop. You'll see, come on. Naruto said, dragging her inside the shop. Hello, welcome to Unohana's. A young girl asked. She was wearing a white shirt with the logo of the shop printed in pink and a pink skirt with white dots. She had purple eyes and long black hair done up in pigtails. Can you please get that lazy ass bastard for me, Uru? Naruto asked, looking at the girl, nodded and walked off to the back. Naruto, you shouldn't speak like that in front of little kids. Naruto said, glaring at her brother as a tall man with light skin, gray eyes and messy light blonde hair came out of the back. He was wearing a dark green shirt and pants topped with a black coat with a white diamond pattern along its bottom half. He also had a pair of Japanese sandals and a striped dark green and white bucket hat with a cane in his right hand. Well, if it isn't my favorite customer, Prince Naruto. The man said, only to be hit with the end of the pommel of Naruto's sword. Cut the crap, Kisuke. Naruto said as Kisuke got up off the ground and rubbed the spot where he was hit. That's Kisuke, the one mom and dad told me to come to if I needed anything. Naruto thought to herself. Alright, what do you need? Kisuke asked, looking him in the eye. Not me, my sister Naruto needs to place an order. Naruto said, motioning to the person next to him. Ah. Lady Naruto, your parents told me you might be coming, so I already have what you need. Kisuke said, pulling a box out of his coat pocket and tossing it to Naruto. My parents told you? Naruto asked, looking at the man as she caught the box. Yes, the king and queen told me that you would be coming. Kisuke said, pulling out a fan from nowhere. Should have known mom and dad would do something like that. Naruto said, pulling out the item from the box and looking at it. A pill? Naruto asked, looking at the pill. Yes, that is the advanced version of a Gigai, all wrapped up in an easy-to-care pill. Kisuke said as Naruto took out his Gigai pill. Watch, Naruto. Naruto said, putting the pill in his mouth, and in a puff of smoke he was now wearing black jeans and a blue shirt. His hair was shorter and the red streak was gone, but he still had his necklace. See. Naruto said that he was now in a Gigai. That's one powerful pill. Naruto said looking at the pill in her hand before popping it into her mouth just like her brother. She was now wearing something different. She was now wearing a blood red skirt with black shorts underneath and a matching red tank top that stopped above her belly button. It was a V cut so you could see some of her cleavage as well. It looks good on you, Naruto. Naruto said looking at his sister. Thanks, Naruto. Naruto said with a blush. 2 hours later, Naruto and his twin have been walking around Karakura town for the past 2 hours after leaving Kisuke's shop. So Naruto, how come you haven't tried to contact Soul Society? Naruto asked her brother. It's not that I could have Naruto, it's just that with the way it is now I want nothing to do with it. Naruto said, shocking his sister. What are you doing now? Naruto asked. Central 46 is corrupt just like any council. All they care about is power, and until they are gone I want nothing to do with that place. Naruto said, swiping a hand through his hair. Naruto, you're not going to kill them, are you? Naruto said, looking at her brother. No. Like I said earlier, I want nothing to do with that place. Naruto says, pulling Naruto closer to him. Naruto, what are you doing? Naruto said with a blush as her boobs were pressed up against her brother's chest. Hold tight. Naruto said with a smirk as he focused on a seal that was back at the compound, and within 2 seconds they were gone in a flash of light. Namika's compound. Damn it, where is he? Mashiro muttered to herself while walking in circles. Mashiro, stop it already. Kensei shouted. But Kensei, what if something bad happened to him? It's been 2 hours since I got back. Mashiro said, falling to her knees. Blondie will be fine. Hiyori said, not even looking at the girl with green hair. Hiyori's right. Naruto will be fine. Lisa said while reading a book as Naruto and his sister appeared in the room in a yellow flash. Naruto, you're safe. Mashiro cheered as she got up and ran over to Naruto and hugged him while tears came out of her eyes. I thought that you wouldn't make it. Mashiro said as she cried. Hey, come on Mashiro, I am fine. Naruto told her. Hey Blondie, who's the other blonde? Hiyori said, looking at the new girl. I said hello to my younger sister Naruto. He said, making them look at the girl with wide eyes. Your sister, but if that is true then she would be a Shinigami. Lisa exclaimed. Yes, she is a Shinigami, and don't worry about her telling Soul Society about you guys. Naruto said with a smile. But how can you be sure? Kensei asked. Remember that I'm the future ruler of Soul Society, thus you guys can be touched by Central 46 since I hold more power than them. Naruto said as Mashiro stopped crying and let go of Naruto. Besides from the 2 hours that I spent with her, she cares more about family than Soul Society itself. Naruto said, looking over at his sister. His family is more important to me than anything else. I would never cause my family any pain. Naruto said with a smile. Even so they know where you are at all times because of the limiter that all lieutenant and captain class Shinigami have to use, including you. Hachi said. That may be true Hachi, but I took care of the limiter. Naruto said holding up a small device in his hands. That's the limiter, but how did you get it out of her? Hachi asked, looking at the device. Wasn't that hard to get it out? I just infused her with some of my and a little of my own design and bingo no more limiter. Naruto said as he crushed it in his hands. Brother, you shouldn't have done that. Naruto said with wide eyes what her brother had just done. Why? He asked, looking at his sister. I'm the spirit princess, remember, and with that gone everyone will come here looking for me. Naruto said in a worried tone, knowing they would think she was a traitor. Relax sis, this isn't a normal limiter. Naruto said, opening his hand to show that it was still intact. But you crushed it, how can it be in one piece? Naruto said, looking at the limiter. It's a royal limiter sis. Naruto says pointing to a red swirl. That's the mark of the royal family. These things are indestructible, at least that's what Kisuke told me, and it seems to be true if I can't crush it. Naruto said as Naruto picked it up and looked at it. Figures mom and dad would use this instead of a normal limiter, but why? Naruto said, looking at the limiter. You said it yourself Naru-chan, you're the spirit princess, the only one that can take the throne since I'm not there. Naruto said, snatching the device out of her hands. Beside them you're more important than the soul of society itself. Naruto said putting the limiter on the shelf. So what do I do now Rukia, as a mission I only came to see if you were in this town. Naruto asks with a frown. Easy, you'll be staying here. I'll call Kisuke and have him set up a few things. Naruto says sitting down on the sofa. But what do I do besides that? Naruto said only to gulp when she saw Naruto smirk. Naruto, stop smirking. You like your mother when you have that smirk. Naruto said, backing up to the wall. Now sis you must know that kids your age have to go to school. Naruto said making Naruto go wide-eyed. No, 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 I won't go you can't make me. Naruto said, shaking her head. Sorry sis you have to. Naruto said, still wearing a smirk. But I hate school. Naruto said with a pout as she fell on her knees. Don't whine like a little baby. Naruto said, making his sister snap her head up and glare. What did you just call me? Naruto asked in a dangerous tone as Naruto smirked. I think it had something to do with a little baby. Naruto said with a smirk as Naruto appeared on Naruto in a flash, but what shocked her was the Naruto she landed on went up in smoke. What the? She said with a shocked tone. You have to be faster than that. Naruto said, making Naruto turn around to see Naruto standing by the wall with a smirk on his face as he pulled out a red lace thong and a matching bra from behind his back. I must say you do wear quite the set of lingerie, Naruto. Naruto said, hold them up as Naruto blushed up a storm. How the fuck did you get those? Naruto shouted. What can I say, I'm sneaker than the kitsune that sealed inside me. Naruto said as Naruto stomped over to him. Keep your hand off my underwear, you fucking pervert. Naruto shouted, snatching her thong and bra out of her brother's hands. It's not my fault I grew up with perverts. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. Oh, and nice ass by the way. Naruto said, only to dodge a punch that was meant for his head. Damn pervert. Naruto muttered as she walked away from a snickering blonde. As far as Naruto thought the day was going pretty good, he meets his sister. He didn't know he had take her panties and bra off her without her knowing, but like all good thing he knew something big was coming and it focused around a 16-year-old girl by the name of Ichigo Kurosaki. Hey Naruto. A voice called out to him from the living room. What is Naruto? He answered back. Is there anything fun to do around town? I'm bored. Naruto said. Bored? You've only been here for 5 hours, Naruto. Naruto said, walking into the room. I know, but I get bored easily and very quickly, and a bored Naruto is a no-no. She says with a cute face. Well, I guess I could introduce you to a few people that I know. Naruto said, curling his finger in a come with me fashion. Who are you going to introduce me to, Naruto? Naruto asked as she followed Naruto out the door. Just a few friends from school. Naruto says, making Naruto scowl at the school part. I still can't believe you're making me go. Naruto said with a cute pout. It won't be that bad. Naruto said, looking back at his sister. Besides, you won't even be here that long. Naruto said, looking at her with a smile. I know, it's just that I hate the idea of going back to school. Naruto said with a little huff as she turned her head to the side. Lighten up, Naruto. Naruto said. And why should I? Naruto glared at her older brother. Because your older brother told you to. Naruto says as he stopped and looked over at Naruto with a sweet smile while the head of a bloodthirsty fox appeared behind him with an evil grin, making Naruto gulp in fear at what she was seeing. Alright, note to self, never make your brother angry. And make sure Naruto and Captain Unohana never meet each other. She thought, looking at the evil grinning fox head behind him. Naruto, you okay? Naruto asked, snapping his sister out of her train of thought. Yeah, I'm fine, Naruto. Naruto said with a smile while trying to forget what she saw. Well, if you say so. Naruto said as he started to walk away. Hey, wait for me. She noticed how far away he was getting. 20 minutes later, here we are at Karakura High. Naruto says, stopping in front of the gates of the school as students were walking out of the school to go home. Are you sure I have to go? Naruto asked, looking at all the kids coming out of the school. Stop complaining, Naruto, you're going, and that's final. Naruto said, looking over at his sister before his eyes caught the sight of orange hair. Come on, I found her. Naruto said, grabbing his sister's hand and dragging her along. Naruto, let go. I can walk, you know. Naruto shouted as her brother pulled her by her hand. Ichi-chan. Naruto shouted, not even paying attention to his sister, while making a girl with short spiky orange hair and brown eyes look over in the direction of the one who shouted her name. Ichigo, or Ichi-chan, as Naruto called her, looked like a normal teenage girl, except that her hair is spiky orange, a trait that she gets ridiculed for. She is fairly tall with a height of 5'11", with peach skin and brown eyes. She was wearing the usual high school uniform for girls, but what always popped out at Naruto was the girl's developing C-cup chest, which resulted in Naruto getting a fist to the face for always staring at her chest. But Ichigo, Ichi-chan. She heard a voice call out to her, looking around. She caught the sight of a blonde-haired boy with whisker marks walking over to her while dragging another blonde behind him. Naruto. She said with a blush as said boy stopped in front of her with a smile on his face. Hey Ichi-chan, what's up? Naruto asked, looking with his smile never leaving his face. Nothing, just getting ready to go home. She says, looking at the blonde. But why are you here, normal? You stay clear of this place on Tuesdays. Ichigo asked him. Oh. Right, I want you to meet someone. Naruto said, pulling his sister in front of him. Ichi-chan, I'd like you to my younger sister Naruko Uzumaki. Naruto said with a smile. Naruko is Ichigo Kurosaki, one of my best friends. Naruto said. It's nice to meet you, Ichigo. Naruko said, extending her hand. Likewise, Naruko. Ichigo said, shaking the blonde's hand. I had no clue you had a sister, Naruto. Ichigo said, looking over at her friend. Well, to tell you the truth, neither did I until today. Naruto said while sheepishly rubbing the back of his head. How the hell could you not know? Ichigo asked with a twitching eyebrow. Well, you see, when I was born your parents sent me to live with some family over in America while Naruto stayed here in Japan. Naruto answered while looking over at her brother and then to Ichigo. I just found out that I had an older brother who lived here in Karakura town, so I came back to find him so we could be a family. Naruto said with a smile as she hugged her brother who just patted her head. Why not save sis? Naruto thought about looking at his sister. Do you know where Orihime, Totsuki, Chad, Kigo, and Mizuru are? Naruto asked. They left just a little bit ago. Ichigo said as she looked over at Naruto. Ah well, looks like you'll have to meet them tomorrow, sis. Naruto glanced over at his sister before looking back at Ichigo. You mind if we tag along? Naruto asked her. Sure. She said, shrugging her shoulders as she walked away with Naruto and Naruto following her. Naruto, why are we tagging along with her? Naruto asked her brother. Well, the main reason is because I need to speak to the idiot she calls father. Naruto said, making Naruto look at him weird while turning her back to look at him with an eyebrow raised. And why do you need to speak to my father? Ichigo asked. That is a secret, my dear Ichi-chan. Naruto said as they turned down a road and clenched his fist as a couple of skateboarders knocked over a vase of flowers and laughed about it. Hey fuckholes. Naruto shouted, pushing Ichigo out of the way while one of the skateboarders turned around. You talking to us, kid? One of the punks said, turning around. No, I'm talking to your fucking ugly ass mother. Naruto said, making the punk walk up to him. You got a death wish, kid. The punk said, reaching out only for Naruto to grab the arm and twist it behind the punk's back and slam him to the ground, shocking the don't even fucking talk or your boy here gets a one-way trip to the hospital. Naruto said in a dark tone, making them freeze. Now let's have a little quiz question. One is for the half pint with the overbite. He says, pointing at the teen. What is that answer now? Naruto said not to change his tone. The flower vase. The teen says, shaking in fear. Correct. Now question 2 is for you fat ass, why was it put there in the first place? Naruto demanded. It could have been for a kid that died in the recital or something. The fat teen said, shitting his pants. Correct. Now for you. Naruto says, pull the punk head up by his hair. Why the fuck is knocked down? Because I thought it would be funny. The punk said as tears fell from his eyes from the pain that he was feeling. But now that I have my answers. Naruto said, get off the man and placed his right foot under him and smirked. Get the fuck out and never show your ugly face in that part of town again. Naruto shouted, kicking the man, which sent him crashing into the other two teens who got up as fast as they could and dragged their letter out screaming. Naruto, what the hell did you do that for? Naruto shouted, looking at her brother who was picking up the vase. There you go, sweetie, I'll bring you some fresh flowers on my way back home. Naruto said, making his sister look at him crazy while Ichigo just smiled. Thank you. A little girl appeared in front of them while it shocked Naruto a little that a plus was right in front of them. You know, Naruto, I would have made them suffer for what they did to the little girl's memorial. Ichigo said, walking over to him while Naruto noticed a shocked look on Naruto's face. Shocked by Ichigo, I can see spirits. Naruto said, looking over at his sister with a look that said play along. When she picked up on it, she nodded her head. Yes. I thought that I was the only one that could see them. Naruto said with a smooth lie as Ichigo looked at her with a shocked look. That used to it. Naruto said, standing up. He's right. Sometimes it's hard to get time alone. Ichigo says, walking away with the two blondes following her. Kurosaki Clinic. When the three finally got to Ichigo's house, Naruto was shocked. And why, you ask? Well, when Ichigo opened the door and she was home out of nowhere, a man in his early to late 30s with black hair and brown eyes and tried to kick Ichigo in the face, only for said girl to hold out her foot, which then came into direct contact with her father's face, to which started to escalate into a match of beating the hell out of her father. Don't bother trying, Naruto said, looking over at his sister before dragging her into the house and then into the kitchen. Hey Yuzu, Karen. Naruto says, dragging his sister into the kitchen while hearing a groan from Issen as he hits the wall. Hey Naruto. The girl said, looking over at him. Yuzu Kurosaki was a young girl of 11 with light brown hair with short bangs hanging over the right side of her forehead, with a red hair clip on the left side of her head and dark brown eyes. She was 4'6" and she was wearing a sundress. Karen Kurosaki, just like Yuzu, was 11. She was also her twin sister, but unlike her sister, her hair was black and she had dark gray eyes. For the outfit she was wearing, you could tell that she was a tomboy. Good thing I made extra. Yuzu hands Naruto a bowl of fried rice. Thanks Yuzu, you're the best. Naruto said, getting a little blush out of the girl. Oh, before I forget, Naruto, these are Ichi-chan's younger sisters that just handed me the rice. Yuzu Kurosaki, he pointed at Yuzu, and the one with black hair is her twin sister Karen Kurosaki. Naruto said before he took a bite of the rice. Yuzu Karen is my younger sister Naruko. She just moved back after finding out that she had a brother. Naruto said as the girls exchanged hellos while Ichigo walked into the kitchen. The winner by knockout Ichigo. Naruto says as Ichigo shocks her head at his actions. Meanwhile, Isin picked himself off the floor and sat down at the table. So, who's the new girl Ichigo? He asked. She's Naruto's younger sister Naruko. Who can also see ghosts too. Isin began to cry. Not fair. Why can't I see them? His 3 kids sighed and didn't answer the rather common question. Unlike on previous nights, he got an answer. It's because you're too old Isin. As Ichigo doubled over in laughter at Naruto's statement while her father sobbed piteously. He suddenly stopped and punched Ichigo in the face, knocking her to the ground. That's for being late. Ichigo jumped up and tackled her father. A small brawl started with lots of shouting amazingly not damaging anything. Naruko swears, does this happen a lot? Yeah. Karen said while getting another bowl of rice. Dad thinks it toughens Ichigo up by attacking her without warning. He doesn't realize that he's the one that always ends up with bruises. Naruko and Naruto then noticed someone else in the room. Hey Ichi-chan, you've got a visitor. Ichigo stopped yelling at his father and spotted the glasses-wearing ghost. I think it's cool to see ghosts, don't you Karen? Naruto asked for no reason. No, I don't believe in ghosts. I'm in denial. Naruto just frowned at what he heard her say. Suddenly there was a yell of drop your guard. And Ichigo was pinned to the floor until she threw her father off of her. They stood, lined up and swung, once again hitting each other in the face. Isin collapsed again. The lesson was free. Came the mumbled answer to the reason behind the fight. Ichigo grunted. Never mind dinner, I'm going to my room. I see you and Naruko at school tomorrow. Ichigo disappeared with a wave. Thanks for the rice Yuzu. Naruto said getting out of the chair and walked over to Isin and grabbed him by the collar of his shirt. I need to borrow your father for a little bit. Naruto said, dragging Isin out the door before he looked over at Naruko. Naruko, are you coming? Naruto asked looking at his sister who was still sitting blinking owlishly at what had just happened before shaking her head and ran after her brother. With Naruto and Isin. Naruto had stopped a good ways away from the Kurosaki clinic just to make sure that Isin kids didn't hear what he was going to say to their father. He looked over Isin's shoulder to see his sister running after them. He smiled before looking Isin in the eye. Alright Isin, a lot of things are going to be happening around Karakura town. Naruto said with a serious tone that had caught Isin's attention, as well as Naruko who only heard the last bit of it. What do you mean Naruto? Isin asked out of curiosity. Shinigami. Naruto said, making Isin snap his eyes wide open at the word. I see you know about Shinigami. Naruto said with a smirk. Yes, I know about them. Isin said knowing from what Kisuke told him Naruto was able to tell if someone was lying to him. But the question is how do you know about them? Isin asked the blonde. Now the former captain of Squad 10, I'll be the one taking first and then you ask your questions. Naruto said as Naruko went wide-eyed at the fact that this man was a Shinigami while Isin was shocked that he knew he was a former captain. Earlier today 2 Shinigami came to Karakura town. Did you sense yes or no? Naruto asked the man. Yes I did. Isin said, looking Naruto in the eye. But then I'll go into further detail. Naruto said pointing at his sister, which made Isin look at her with a raised eyebrow. My sister was one of the Shinigami that came here earlier. Naruto said, making Isin's eyes go wide. That's why I felt coming from her and here I was just Ichigo. Isin said as Naruto nodded his head yes. Yes you see, she was born in Sarate while I was born 116 years ago in a village called Konohagakure no Seto. Naruto said looking at the wide-eyed Isin. And before you ask, no I am not immortal, Isin. Long short some friends came and took me away from the village because like them I hold a similar power. Naruto said looking back over at Isin. Now getting back on topic, these 3 Shinigami are planning to overthrow the king. Naruto said shocking Isin and Naruko. And no Naruko you cannot tell anyone even mom or dad about the upcoming threat, if you do it will ruin everything. Naruto said looking over at his sister who just looked at him crazy. Naruto, if mom and dad are endangered then I have to tell them. Naruko shouted at her brother. Then what Naruko? The 3 who want to overthrow them will not show. So please don't do anything. Naruto said, making his sister scowl and turn away from him. Fine, but if they die, I'ma kill you. Naruko said with her back turned to him. Don't worry I have my best agents keep an eye out in Sarate for me. How do you think I know all this? Naruto said, making Naruko snap around with shock written all over her face. But earlier you said you wanted nothing to do with Sarate. Naruko said that her own brother would do something like this. I lied to Naruko, and don't worry Central 46 won't die by my hands, the traitor will be the one to kill them. Naruto said just as a roar was heard. It has begun. Naruto said looking back over at the Kurosaki clinic only to see one of the walls get destroyed out of the corner of his eye. He noticed Isin getting ready to run to help his family. He placed a hand on his shoulder. Isin, you can't stop this, her destiny is to become a Shinigami. Naruto said holding him in place. Isin, what would Misaki do for you right now? Naruto said as a voice spoke up behind. I tell you to let this happen, Isin-kun. She is meant for great things and with Naruto and his allies by her side, she will become a great woman. You must learn that she needs room to grow. The voice said making the three look behind them. Naruto was shocked to see another Shinigami, while Naruto was happy she showed up on time and Isin was stuttering like an idiot. Why well the one that was in front of them was Misaki Kurosaki, the wife of Isin Kurosaki and mother of Ichigo, Yuzu, and Karen Kurosaki. Misaki was a woman of average height. She had fair skin and long wavy brown hair down her back which was tied in a knot. She was wearing the regular Shinigami garb with her Zanpakuto on her left hip. She wore a smile as she walked up to the three. Masa Misaki, how are you still alive? Isin said looking at his wife who had supposedly been dead for 7 years, was standing right in front of him with a smile on her face. You can thank Naruto here for saving me. Misaki said pointing over at Naruto. Sorry Isin, some secrets are best kept. Naruto said as a huge level was released making them look over to see Ichigo in a Shinigami garb and a huge sword on her back. Fuck, that's one big ass Zanpakuto, although it sucks that it's not a true one. Naruto said, making the other three look at him. What do you mean brother? Naruto asked. You see that Zanpakuto is not solid because Rukia is now fighting with her own one wrong move and the sword goes bye-bye. Naruto said looking at Ichigo as she destroyed the hollow. He noticed that she was going to faint because what had happened so flashed over there and caught in his arm bridle style. Urahara, get your ass out here now. Naruto said looking over in the shadows as said man walked out and into view. How did you know that I was here? Kisuke said, hiding a smile behind his fan. Because I could smell a pervert nearby. Now take Miss Kichiki and get her a gig eye and fake school records as well as a set for my sister. Naruto said as Isin, Misaki and his sister finally joined them. Misaki-chan, it's good to see your smiling face once again. Kisuke said as he pulled out a box from a pocket on his Haori and tossed it to Misaki. Just ask Naruto, he'll tell you about what's in the box. Kisuke said as he picked up Rukia and took her to his shop while Naruto and the others looked over the clinic. For the love of Kami-sama. Naruto shouted looking at the giant hole in the wall. Misaki here. Naruto said tossing Ichigo over to her mother who barely caught her in time. She then looked at Naruto who was going through some kind of weird hand signs. Ninja art. Damage reversal. Naruto shouted slamming his hands on the ground and within seconds all the damage that was done vanished like it never happened. Naruto, what did you do? Naruto asked, gaping like a fish. Don't worry about it Naruto. Naruto said walking into the house so he could heal Yuzu and Karen. When the other got into the house they noticed that he was healing the twins with a light spell. Place Ichi-chan in her room. She just needs to rest. She'll be fine in the morning. Naruto said as Isin took Ichigo from Misaki and carried her up to her room. While Naruto and Misaki took Yuzu and Karen up to their rooms after he finished healing her. After the little time it took to put the girls in their rooms, the four Shinigami were sitting in the living room. Isin was about to speak when the phone went off. Hey midget, what's up? Naruto said, pulling the phone away from his ear. Don't call me a fucking midget. Hiyori shouted over the phone for everyone to hear. Yeah, calm down will you? Now what do you want? Naruto asked. The guys felt a huge signature near your location. The girl said over the phone. Oh, that was just Ichigo getting a jump start on her Shinigami powers Hiyori. Naruto said. Alright. Hiyori said with a sigh. Hang on, Mashiro wants to talk to you. Hiyori said as he heard her pass the phone to Mashiro. Naru-kun, when you are coming home? Mashiro said, making Naruto blush. I'm not coming home Mashiro, I am staying at Ichigo's with Naruto. I'll call you tomorrow I promise. Naruto said before quickly getting something else in before she hung up. And stay the fuck out of my room you pervert. Naruto shouted only to hear her giggle as she hung up. Damn pervert. Naruto said shutting his phone. So can you please ask why my wife is alive and is a Shinigami? Isin asked Naruto. That's easy, she always been a Shinigami ever since I meet her on one of my daily terrorize the fuck out of Sarate days. Naruto said with a smirk as he looked over at Misaki. What? She asked with a raised eyebrow. Oh, just wondering if you still called your Zanpakuto Zan. Naruto said chuckling as Misaki started to blush as images of her as a kid in the Rukin district hugging a blade and calling it Zan. Zan. Isin said only to get smacked. Never say that name. She said, pulling her legs to her chest. I haven't been this embarrassed since I hit puberty. Misaki said crying a little only for Naruto to double over in laughter. It took a few minutes before everything calmed down for Naruto to explain everything to them while leaving out who their parents were and who the traitors were, since Masaki already knew Isin would find out soon. He told them that he would be taking over Ichigo's training, and not that they did have what it took to try her, it's just he had to pound it into Isin's head that he couldn't run away forever, like he did. It still hurt that he didn't get to say goodbye to what little friends he had. Masaki, I suggested you and Numskull get some sleep. Naruto said, getting a nod out of her. Right. But where are you going to sleep? Masaki asked, looking at the two blondes. Naruto and I will take the spare room. Naruto said. You do realize that there's only one bed in the room, right? Isin said with a raised eyebrow. I'll just share them because there's no way in the 9 layers of hell I am sleeping on the couch. Those things are not good for the back. Naruto said before a devious grin appeared on his face. I don't think Ichi-chan would mind company tonight. Naruto said, grinning like a fox. No, absolutely not, do you hear me? Isin shouted. I hear you. But I don't hear you. Naruto dodges Isin's attempt at tackling him to the ground. Don't worry, Isin-san, I'll make sure Naruto stays in bed with me for a long time and doesn't touch anything. Naruto told him before glaring at her brother. Hey, I'm not that kind of guy. Sure, you're hot as fuck hell. But hell itself would have to freeze over 10 times before I'd even think about fucking you. Naruto said, heading to the stairs. I may be a pervert, Naruto, but I would never fuck my own sister. Naruto said, admitting to being a pervert. Come Naruto, we have a long date tomorrow. Naruto said, getting his sister to follow him up the stairs. When Naruto awoke the next morning, he looked over to his left to see his sister still sleeping with a beautiful smile on her face, as a few strands of hair hung in front of her face, and brushed them away before getting out of bed and walked over to the closet to get his school uniform. Luckily he kept some here, just in case he stayed. After he got dressed, he walked out of the room and noticed Yuzu and Karen walking out of their rooms. Hey Yuzu, Karen. Naruto says, shocking the poor girls. Naruto? What are you doing here? Asked a startled Yuzu. Naruto and I stayed the night after what happened. Naruto said, making the look at him confused until images from last night started to come back to them. Don't worry about the creature that attacked, Ichi-chan took care of it, head downstairs. I'll wake her up. Naruto said as Yuzu and Karen walked away while Naruto walked over to Ichigo's room and knocked on the door. He didn't receive an answer, so he opened only to see that she wasn't there. Not here. She must be downstairs then. Naruto said as he shut the door to her room and turned around to walk downstairs as a voice called out to him. Naruto. A voice called out to him. Oh. Hey Naruto. He said, turning to the side to see his sister walking up to him. Why are you up so early? She asked, still feeling a little sleepy. Did you forget already? Naruto asked, looking at her. Forget what? She asked, confused. We have school today in Naruto. Naruto said, getting a pout from his sister. Well no, I was just hoping that you would forget about it. Naruto said. Now why would I forget about it? It's not Tuesday, so I have to go, which means you have to go as well. So come on. Naruto said, grabbing his sister's hand and dragging her downstairs. The kitchen. When Naruto and Naruto got down to the kitchen, he noticed that Ichigo and the twins were just standing there looking into the kitchen with wide eyes and mouths open while pointing into the kitchen. Mom, how are you alive? But how? Ichigo stutters while pointing to a woman sitting next to his father. Now Ichi-chan, it is rude to point at people. I thought I taught you better. Masaki said to her oldest daughter. That's not the point, how are you still alive? I watched you die right in front of me 7 years ago. Ichigo shouted. Damn Ichi-chan, do you need to be so loud? Naruto said, walking up to the girl, freaking her out. Naruto, what are you doing here? Ichigo said, turning around, seeing that Naruto and Naruto were standing right behind her. Something came up last night. So we had to stay the night. Naruto said, making Ichigo confused at what he said before her eyes went wide. The monster from last night. Ichigo says, getting a nod from Naruto. Yes, the hollow that attacked you and your sisters. Naruto said, walking into the kitchen, shocking her that he knew what it was. How do you know what it is? Ichigo asked him. I had my fair share of run-ins with them over the years. Naruto said, sitting down at the table. Now get over here you three, I have something to tell you, the same goes for your mother and your father. Naruto said. Now Naruto, I don't think it wise to tell them right now. Isin said, not wanting to tell them what he truly is. You have no say in it, Captain Kurosaki, and you know at the moment Ichigo became one of them, wouldn't you say, Masaki? Naruto said with a glare fixed on Isin, making him twitch when he noticed that Naruto's eyes changed to black with eerie yellow pupils. He's right, Isin-kun, they need to know the truth behind it all. Masaki said, hoping her daughter wouldn't hate her after knowing the truth. And the same goes for you, Naruto. Masaki said, as Naruto nodded his head. I know, Masaki. He said with a smile. What are you talking about? Ichigo asked, looking at them. Just come in here and sit down. Misaki said with a smile as she looked at her three daughters. Alright. Ichigo said, walking into the kitchen and over to a chair. Okay, explain. She said sitting down. Alright, I'll go first. Naruto said, making Ichigo and her sister look at him. It's hard to explain. Naruto says standing up while pulling a pill out of his mouth makes his school uniform disappear and is replaced with his soul outfit as well as his Zanpakuto on his left hip. But to start you could say that I'm not a human being but a soul, or the term that is used by some Shinigami. Naruto said as the three girls went wide-eyed at what he said, making Ichigo speak up. That can't be true, we've been friends since we were kids. Ichigo said, looking at Naruto. True? He said looking at her. But you see I have a technique that can let me change how I look. Naruto said, looking at her. And besides it wouldn't matter since everyone in this house is the same. Naruto said looking over at Isun, Misaki, and his sister. What do you mean by the same? Asked a shocked Yuzu. Watch. Naruto said putting on a glove on both hands and then slammed them into Isun and Ichigo pulling out both of their soul forms, shocking Yuzu and Karen at what they saw. Damn it Naruto, give me a warning the next time you do that. Isun said standing up showing that he was in his Shinigami garb with his Zanpakuto on his hip and a captain's Haori on his right shoulder that said Captain of Squad 10. Well Ichigo was the same, but her Zanpakuto was on her back, but unlike her father's her Zanpakuto was almost as tall as her. Now don't forget me. Misaki said pulling out a pill from her mouth just like Naruto and the other she too was in her Shinigami garb. How can this be if mom and dad are spirits how we see them? A still shocked Yuzu says. Because Yuzu you were born as a soul without a physical body. The same goes for Karen and you too Ichigo. Naruto says, looking at them. And to answer your unasked question as to why people can't see you is that when you were born you were placed in a special gigai that would let you grow at the rate of a human and cloak you from Tsurete. Naruto said, looking at them. How do you know all this Naruto? Isun asked. Misaki told me both times when she was pregnant that each gigai was made by Kisukirahara and reinforced with a blocking seal made by me, as well as a seal to completely stop you from using it at all, while still letting you see spirits and hollows. Naruto said with a smile. But due to the hollow attack last on your family Isun, your daughter Ichigo is now a Shinigami whether you like it or not. Naruto said, looking at him. Now, as for your younger daughters I have removed the seal last night after healing them within a week you'll be feeling there. I did the same to Ichigo when I turned 11. Naruto said, looking over at Ichigo. It was your mother's orders that I did what I did Ichi-chan, that's why I created the age reversal technique so I could befriend when you turned 5, it was to also look over you so the seal wouldn't break and alert Tsurete about you and then to help protect you after your mother's death was faked. Naruto said only to be slammed up against a wall by Ichigo, making his eyes go wide. So fast, but how she doesn't even know yet. Naruto thought. Protect me after my mother's death was faked, what are Naruto talking about now? Ichigo growled as she glared at Naruto. Ichigo even if I told you I don't you would understand any of it. Naruto said, looking away from her. Not understanding, oh I understand alright, you kept my mother away from me. Ichigo shouted. You think I wanted that Ichigo? Naruto said, looking back at her before disappearing and reappearing right behind. You think I wanted to keep her away from her family away from her daughters Ichigo then I don't know jack shit about anything. Naruto yelled slamming Ichigo up against the wall. It hurt me more than it hurt you Ichigo all she ever dreamed about was having a family of her own, that was a dream of a little 10-year-old girl who had nothing Ichigo she had no brothers or sisters to take care of her no mother or father, nothing just a sword that's the only friend she had until I came along and caught her trying to steal from me. Naruto said as tears started rolling down his cheeks shocking the Kurosaki family and his sister, but Misaki was the one that was the most seen Naruto cry since in all the time she's known him he's never cried. Naruto, that's enough to put her down. Misaki says, putting a hand on his shoulder. Please Naruto put her down. She said again, making Naruto loosen his grip on Ichigo and drop her. I'm sorry Ichigo, I shouldn't have lashed out at you like that. Naruto said before popping his Gigai pill back into his mouth. Hurration. Naruto disappeared in a yellow flash. Ichigo. Misaki said, slapping the back of her daughter's head. I want you to apologize to him the next time you see him. Do I make myself clear, young lady? Misaki growled. Yes mother. Ichigo said with fear. But now get your ass back into your Gigai and get to school. She said. Mom, I have no clue how to use it. Ichigo said, looking over at the body that looked like her. Right, sorry. Just place your hand on it and from there you'll be sucked back into it. Misaki said as she popped her Gigai pill back into her mouth as her daughter's soul form was sucked back into the Gigai and ran off for school as Naruto shook her head and followed after the girl. Alright now Yuzu, Karen, you two will be staying home so your father and I can explain everything to you. We'll tell Ichigo when she gets home. Misaki told her two younger daughters. But Naruto at school. When Naruto flashed from Ichigo's house, he flashed right to school right behind a few trees. Stupid woman. Naruto says, walking out from behind the tree and to the doors of the school. That woman goes through so fucking many mood swings it make the midget look like harmless kitten. Naruto mutters while walking through the entrance of the school. Naruto. A voice shouted out as running could be heard. Idiot. Naruto said, sticking his foot out behind him as only to feel someone grunt in pain. Hey Kigo. Naruto said, turning around and looking at the downed boy moaning in pain. Said boy moaning in pain was Kigo Asano, a boy with medium long brown hair that flips outward as he has brown eyes. Morning Naruto. Another voice said next to him. Morning Mizuro. Naruto said to the boy. Mizuro was a boy with short black hair and green just like Naruto. He was also 16. Hey, didn't you see what he just did? Kigo said to Mizuro, who didn't even pay attention to him. So what's wrong with you today? Mizuro asked. Why don't you ask the ungrateful bitch Ichi? Naruto snapped, shocking him and almost everyone that was there at what he called Ichigo. Wow Naruto, no need to snap at me. Mizuro said with his hand in front of him. Sorry Mizuro, I'm just in a bad mood. Naruto said, walking to the classroom. When he stepped inside he noticed that Chad, Totsuki and Orihime were already there. Chad Yasutora, a friend of his from Mishiba Junior High. Chad is 6'51" D2 with wavy brown hair that covers his eyes. He has dark skin represented from his Mexican descent due to his muscles and height. People think he is older than he looks. He is also very quiet and doesn't speak much. The next was Tatsuki Arasawa, a childhood friend. Tatsuki is a tomboyish girl with a height of 5'1". She has black hair that spiked out in some places and brown eyes. The last was Orihime Inoue, another childhood friend. Orihime was a beautiful girl who was about an inch taller than Tatsuki and had a rack about the same as his sister. She has brown eyes and waist-length burnt orange hair. She also has a very weird personality that Naruto gets a kick out of. Naruto-kun. Orihime said, waving over to Naruto. Hey, Hime-chan. Naruto said, walking over to the group. What's with you Naruto, you seem a little pissed off today. Tatsuki asked as Naruto sat down. Don't worry about it, Tatsuki. Naruto said, laying his head down as the door opened up again showing Ichigo. Kurosaki-chan. Orihime said with a bright smile, which she just ignored and walked over to Naruto. Can I talk to you Naruto? Ichigo asked, looking down at Naruto who had just barely lifted his head up to answer. Just say it here Ichi-chan. Naruto said with a lazy tone. Fine. I'm sorry for bitching at you earlier. I had no right to without hearing what you did. Ichigo said with a sad look. You know you didn't have to apologize to Ichi-chan. Naruto said. My mom's made me. Ichigo says, shocking his friend since she never talks about her mother. Your mom's making you really? Naruto says, lifting his head up all the way. Yes, now drop it. Ichigo told him. Fine. He said before laying his head down as the teacher came in. Alright, we have two new students joining us today. The teacher said. Their teacher was a young woman with long brown hair, brown eyes and glasses by the name of Masato Achi. Okay, you two can come in. She says as the doors opened to show the two kids that Naruto already knew. Alright, you two please introduce yourselves. She said. My name is Rukia Kichiki. The black-haired girl said in a tone that only Naruto caught. She needs to get that stick removed. Naruto thought about looking at Rukia before looking over to his sister. My name is Naruko Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruko said, introducing herself to the class, making them look at her and then to Naruto, who raised an eyebrow. What? Naruto asked, looking at the class. What do you know about Naruto? She has your last name. The class said. She's my younger sister, so of course she would have my last name. Naruto said before the teacher spoke up. Alright, ask questions later. She said. Naruko, you can sit over next to Tatsuki and Rukia, you can take a seat by Ichigo. She said, pointing to the two girls. While Naruko went and sat next to Tatsuki, Rukia walked over to Ichigo with a fake smile. You must be right. Rukia said in a fake tone. What are you doing here? Ichigo growled while Rukia had her hand out. You know her? Tatsuki asked, looking at the new girl. Ichigo met her yesterday when I went to go and get my sister from the airport. She is one of Naruko's friends from America, which is funny since she looks Japanese and can speak it really well. Naruto said, saving Ichigo from her mistake. Yeah. But we were never introduced. Rukia said, playing along with what Naruto said. After class. Alright Rukia, Ichigo roof now. Naruto said before walking out of the classroom with his sister hot on his heels. Roof. Alright Rukia, due to you not having your Shinigami powers anymore, Ichigo will be doing them for you with me helping out here and there. Naruto said, looking at her. Why should I help her? Ichigo shouted. Ichigo, this is your life now, kill hollows like the one last night, as well as saving souls from turning into hollows or being eaten by them. Naruto said, glaring at the girl. Besides, your father used to do this, the same goes for your mother. It's in the family. Naruto said. But why? I mean, I know from what little you told me this morning, as well as what little Rukia told me last night, but why? Ichigo asked him. Because I said so. You're the only one that can, since Sarate doesn't know about me and Naruto can't, since this is not our mission, so that only leaves you, Ichi-chan. Naruto said with a smile before the phone went off. There's a hollow in the park. Rukia said, looking at the phone. Well, you heard it was time for Ichi-chan to go to work. Naruto said, taking the Gigai pill out of his mouth, while Naruto did the same thing, while Rukia slammed her hand into Ichigo to release his soul form. Just one thing. Naruto says, putting a hand on Ichigo's Gigai and started to coat it by making it vanish from sight. What the hell happened to my body? Ichigo asked, looking at the spot our body used to be. Don't worry, Ichigo, it's still there. I just used a little to make it invisible so people wouldn't find it. Naruto said, turning around to look at her. Now let's go before that hollow gets away. Naruto said to pick up Ichigo and jump off the roof while Naruto did the same thing with Rukia. Once the four got to the park, Naruto noticed that Ichigo was looking around for someone. What's wrong with Ichi-chan? Naruto asked. Well, you see, there's this ghost that usually plays here. Ichigo explained, he's about 5 years old and about this height. She said, moving her hand to put it where the kid's head should reach. He's always around here, so it's weird he's not playing in this park, she said truthfully. A friend of yours? Rukia asked. No, I've just seen him a few times, I haven't even talked to him. He then noticed Rukia pulling out a cell phone and began to play with it. He seems nearby. You know, I never did ask about the phone that you're using. I noticed it on the roof of the school when it went off. Asked a curious Strawberry. Well, you see, this device allows me to locate souls and also receive my orders. The girl replied as she looked behind them. And it seems that the hollow is after the kid. Everyone turned to the terrified screaming of a 5-year-old boy with a chain hanging from his chest, being followed by a large spider-like hollow. Ichigo and Naruto instantly grabbed their swords and put a foot in the fence separating them from the kid in danger, but just when they began to draw their Zanpakuto. Stop. Both turned to see Rukia with a solemn look. Why do you even want to help that kid? She asked before turning to the orange-haired girl. You don't even know him. Rukia said, not understanding why they would help him. What are you talking about? Rukia is a Shinigami, job to help pluses, and I for one won't let a hollow devour a kid on my watch. Naruto barked in anger as he drew his Zanpakuto completely. He's right, I just can't let that poor kid die. Ichigo shouted in agreement. Naruto, you should know this too, since you're a Shinigami. They said solemnly. We, as Shinigami, must treat all souls as equals, no matter what. Even if that kid's in front of you and is suffering, or even if he were 1,000 miles away, won't change the fact you both are Shinigami. You can't save every spirit. Naruto growled. I am not a Shinigami like you, Rukia, I don't work for Sarate. I have now ties to that place like you and Naruto. Naruto barked. I protect all souls from hollow attacks. Naruto said as Naruto smiled. It was how her parents wanted Sarate to work, to protect souls at any cost. What's the point? Rukia barked back. It doesn't matter if you save the kid, only if you have such a false kindness. If you too want to save him, then you must save all the spirits. That means to go anywhere for them and give your lives for them. Accept that. Live life, Ichigo echoed before growling. The kid cried as the hollow was about to bite him. Get away from him. Naruto shouted as he slammed his foot into the monster's face, knocking it back a few feet while leaving imprints on the hollow's mask. He then snapped and pointed at Rukia. Doest matter, I've been doing this for 100 years, Rukia, and not once has a soul be lost to a hollow. Who are you? Asked the hollow as it approached the blonde. However, the moment it did so, one of its legs was sliced clean off with enough raw strength to send it flying back a few yards. Rukia was shocked as she saw Ichigo wipe her oversized Zanpakuto clean of the hollow's blood. Shut your damn trap. Both Ichigo and Naruto shouted in unison, the first continuing, I won't accept it. What? The shocked asked. Rukia, you were chosen to be a Shinigami to help people, but, as for me and Ichigo, we're different. The redeed continued. You did the same last night, you sacrificed yourself for Ichigo. Did you think it was your Shinigami duty to have him? Both Ichigo and Naruto turned at the same time and sliced the hollow's head in 4 pieces, Ichigo cutting it vertically and Naruto horizontally in perfect halves. Naruto turned to Rukia with a determined face. I hate it when people suffer and when others make people suffer. My job is to make sure that souls don't suffer after dying. The blonde shouted. Ichigo continued. I don't accept any duty or whatever. If things get ugly, I'm Aaron, since I'm not so much of a good person to sacrifice myself for everyone. But then she turned to the with a face as determined as her friend. Sadly, I'm not as heartless as to live peacefully without paying my debts. She then walked to Rukia and extended her hand to the shorter girl. I'm going to help you. I'll do that Shinigami job. Even if I don't want to. Ichigo said. Rukia smiled at both of them. Yeah thanks. Naruto smiled looking at the three before walking over to the kid. Now that that's said and done, hey, kid. Naruto said kneeling down in front of the kid. What is it? The boy asked, teary-eyed. Naruto smiled warmly and comfortingly at the boy. Calm down, I'm sending you to a better place. Where? The kid asked, a bit shocked. The blonde ruffled his hair and smiled more. To a place for you to rest your soul and where you won't suffer anymore. With those words, and placing the end of her sword's handle on the kid's forehead, the kid was gone as a black butterfly took his place and flew away. After all that was said and done, they went back to school, which wasn't much beside the fact that the teachers asked where they were, in which Naruto said that they went to his house for lunch, and knowing that the blonde's house was far, they let it go with a warning. Once school got out, Naruto and Naruto left for home while Ichigo did the same, but not before offering Rukia a place to stay. Namika's compound. Well, that was an eventful day. Naruto said walking through the door of the compound as he took out his Gigai pill while Naruto just left hers. I guess. Naruto said, shrugging her shoulders as she walked in behind Naruto. Spoil sport. Naruto walked into the living room and noticed that everyone was there. Hey guys, what's up? Naruto asked to walk over to any spot on the couch. Not much. Kensei said before taking a serious face. But you could tell us what happened last night at Kurosaki-san clinic. Kensei said with a serious voice. Not much, just a Shinigami transferring her powers over to Ichigo so she could save her family from the hollow that attacked. Naruto said with a calm voice. This had to happen, Kensei, and you know it, in order to get them to show their faces to Sarate, this had to happen. Naruto said with his eyes not leaving Kensei as he sighed in defeat. Don't worry man, everything will be fine. Naruto said with a smile. After Naruto explained everything to the other visors, they went off to do whatever while Naruto and Naruto stayed in the living room and sat there in silence not knowing what to say until Naruto spoke up. Hey Naruto. Naruto said, looking over at her brother who was lying on the couch. What is? Naruto said lazily. I was just wondering if you know the name of your Zanpakuto. Naruto asked, getting a curious look from her brother. Yes, I learned her name when I was only 8 years old, and when I was 11 I learned Bankai. Naruto said, making him jump up and shout at him. You already know Bankai. Naruto shouted. What's the big deal about it? Naruto asked, looking at her with a lazy look. Naruto, obtaining Bankai is very big, only a few can obtain it. Naruto said, knowing just how hard it was to get since she herself was trying to get. I don't even have it. Naruto said, as his brother turned his head to look up at the ceiling. Naruto, being able to obtain Shikai or Bankai is not important. The bond between you and your Zanpakuto, you must become one with your Zanpakuto to be strong. Naruto said, looking back over at his sister. Besides Naruto, I never even use them. Naruto said, closing his eyes. But Naruto, what happens if you face an even stronger hollow? Naruto asked, looking at her brother who wasn't even looking at her. Never had to. Naruto said, sitting up. I only ever had to face a Jillian class hollow. Naruto said to her. Now then, let's go and get something to eat. I'm hungry. Naruto said as he stood up and walked over to Naruto. Come on. Naruto said, pulling his sister up before walking out of the living room and to the kitchen to get something to eat. I guess I could get something too. Naruto said as her stomach started to growl in agreement to food, making her blush. Seems like your stomach agrees with Naruto. Naruto said with a chuckle. Hey, don't blame me, I haven't had anything since lunch. Naruto said with a huff, making her boobs. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.